Hey, well, hello, good morning. This is the Rude Boy DJ Paul. Let me just drop the Rude Boy for now. This is DJ Paul on Tottenham Hotspur, USA. And I just want to touch just this topic for now. Just want to take a quick look at the 100 million pounds or $100 million. We'll use dollars, whatever the equivalence of that will be, because we're in the US. And so the translation and the euro and all of that is for the accountants. But let's use $100 million for the sake of the conversation. And my short research has shown that there are lots that is riding on that 100 million. And a part of that, as it's stated, is already gone. Maybe a third of that, which you're talking about 30 million or 33 million, of that is already gone to items that are sitting on the balance sheet to take care of that. Also, there's an item that we might not ignore because we as fans don't really care about that. But it is revealed that there was about 80 to 90 million dollars that was borrowed against future earnings, which means that most of the transactions that we did in the 25-26 season was through loans. And so what we're looking at is that even though we have that $100 million worth of investment into the club, it's that if you were to put it against commitments that we have, we basically, overshot that already by $20 million. The folly in all of that, and we get excited seeing that $100 million, is that we don't sell well. We don't sell players on the books. We don't have blue chip players coming from the academy, which we can use to supplement that. If we look at the roster, just to expand the conversation, so you get what I'm saying, is that right now, if we were to sell players, we're not going to talk about January more so, because we want want incoming more than outgoing, if possible, and that's what you get in the January window. So we have that to contend with. But if you look at what happens in general in the summer window, is that we don't sell well. I think I said that already. And if you look at the roster right now as it is, and you look at the possible outgoing, who do we have that we can sell right now and bring in money to complement or supplement what will be left over? Mark you, I said that based on information that are current, we are already $20 million short, or we already dipped into the kitty already $20 million. So anything that we're getting from the conference league, anything that we have gotten from the Europa League, add the gate receipts to that, you have to subtract 20 million out of that, because that $100 million is already eaten up, for future stuff. Plus, all the things that need to happen, the loans and all of that, salary, for the execs and just running the club in general. So $100 million was not dedicated, in other words, just for players. But let me get back to the point that I want to make, is that we don't have enough players coming out the academy. Right now we have Lou Barnett, and we can't sell him, right? We can't sell Mikey Moore. We can't sell Ajay. So right now we're looking at about 3 players that we have to hold on to, because that's our future. The rest I don't really care about per se. The Alfie Devines, the Dane Scarlett, the Lancashire, all those players should be able to bring us somewhere around 35 to 40 million dollars. Those players we can move on, because we have given them enough time where when we don't see the investment that we are putting them, so we need to move them on just for their career. But when you look at the senior squad and you look at Brennan Johnson, what are you going to get for Brennan Johnson if you should sell Brennan Johnson? Because right now Kudus has taken that spot. Tell is going to command that spot if we go out and get get another striker, then we have to find somewhere to play Tell in the immediate. We also have to look at Odobert, and what we're going to do with Odobert is that we're going to bring Odobert along as well, so he's going to have some say in playing on the left. We look at Richarlison. Richarlison came in for $65 million. How much can we get for Richarlison? I doubt we can get $25 to $30 million for Richarlison. So right now, just looking at player sale, we're not going to sell Kulusevski. Poro might have some value, but that's maybe $35 million. So in other words, when you look at what Spurs can do in terms of selling in the window, and if you're trying to clear the deck, you only have Richarlison, and I can score in my mind to see who is on loan that we can sell. We have Viskovic that's out there. So we don't have much in terms of money that we can bank and that has resale value. And I'm stretching it here for Richarlison. If we can get $30 million just for Richarlison, we have Bissouma, maybe 15 to 20. So in other words, we don't have $60 million on the books to our projection that we can bring in to go and say slap 20 more on it or 10 or 15 more on it and go get a Savinia or get a Semenyo. We will be struggling for that. And so the season itself is going to be telling, because we still have to clear out players in the summer. And who are the players that are going to move? None of them that I name right now do not have the kind of value that I think we're looking for if we're going to go out there and get star-studded player. Semenyo probably is going to would run us maybe about 20 million over what he's projected right now. He's probably going to cost about $80 million. Savino, we know, is already at 70. Any other player that is out there, and we also have to look to see whether or not we want to bring Palhinha back. What kind of deal is there? I don't know what this regime will do. I mean, I don't know if Vinay is the one who made the deal or it was Levy who made the deal for Palhinha. Palhinha is going to be valued at 27, 28 million pounds, what Bayern Munich is looking for. Maybe in one sense, Bayern's going to say, oh, well, we see what we want and we want our Palhinha back. So right now, we don't know if we're going to be able to sign Palhinha permanently. And even if we're doing that, it's whether or not we're going to sign him for a year or 2 years. I think he's probably going to want a 2-year contract. And so what we're going to left with, right where we started, we're going to have Bentancur, who we re-signed already, Archie Gray. I'm not sure if we're going to see enough to say, hey, we're not going to miss Palhinha, but we still are going to left with a void at the number 6 position, and we're going to have Van de Ven, where we have to re-sign Van de Ven on his contract as well. So there are things that are happening that we need to address, and that's going to take money. In the short, of everything that I've said, we are looking to put maybe somewhere in the region of $200 million out there in spending, and therefore, if we have sale that is less than 60 million, so we're going to be out there with say maybe $130-140 million worth of sale that we need to bring in. What's going out is not going to be enough to offset that. So that 100 million, if we're adding it purely to purchase, then it would never be enough. It still would never be enough for what we're putting out there, because we don't have enough to bring that. If we're talking about bringing in, we'd have $160 million to spend. But like I said at the beginning of the conversation, and those are factual, you can research it for yourself, that though there are money from that $100 million that has gone elsewhere. The investment has gone elsewhere to satisfy other things that the club had gone into. So now we're going to go back to the same thing that we have been doing, is a reliance on the gate receipt. Because like I said, our sales have always been crap. We have nobody to sell that's worth anything. Kudus just comes in. Maybe if we decide that we're going to move Vicario, we could probably pick up 30 for Vicario. Maybe not. I don't think he can garner that in the Premier League. So therefore, more clubs clubs out there in Europe is not going to pay $30 million for, for a Vicario. And plus, we now have to bring, to replace that, are we going to go for a number one, right, which would probably cost us another 50 million. So you see, as you look at it, the $100 million in the big scheme of things is going to be reliant upon us being in the top four, our top six, maybe win the FA Cup, or where we finish in the Premier League. So we really have to be earning our way to stay viable in this in this season. I mean, in the season meaning that overall, even though we have changed Daniel Levy, if we think we're going to just open up the kitty and start spending, where is the money going to come from? Like I said, when you break down the $100 million, you don't have nothing left. As a matter of fact, it's already gone if you were to pay commitments that you have dived into. It would require us to go beyond the group stage of the Champions League to bring that kind of money in, because every round that you go up, it brings you more money. So it's very, very tricky. So for fans who are saying, okay, we have $100 million, let's go out there and get Semenya for $80 million, it just does not work like that. And I hope that for other content creators who are just out there talking, is taking $100 million and plotting it against possible players that are coming in, we be careful of who we get our information from and how they are disseminating that kind of information, because the facts does not bear out. The $100 million was never set aside solely for purchase within the next two windows. I'm DJ Paul for Tottenham Hotspur USA, and we'll keep the information flowing, we'll keep it going, and I'll see you the next time right here on the Rude Boy Sound. Peace, and I'm out.